Nestled between China and Japan, the Korean Peninsula Gojoseon to the technological marvels of the literature and innovation. We will also confront rivers whisper tales of kingdoms long gone. This is a land of echoes, where the past resonates deeply in the present. Korea's story is one of resilience and transformation. It is a narrative of empires rising and falling. It is a testament to the enduring spirit of its people. From the mythical beginnings of Gojoseon to the technological marvels of the 21st century, Korea's journey has been marked by both triumphs and tragedies. It is a story of cultural brilliance and fierce independence, tempered by periods of foreign influence and internal strife. In this exploration of Korea's past, we will unearth the layers of history that have shaped this fascinating nation. We will journey through the rise and fall of ancient kingdoms. We will witness the flourishing of art, literature, and innovation. We will also confront the darker chapters of Korea's past, from the devastation of foreign invasions to the enduring legacy of national division. By understanding Korea's history, we can better appreciate the complexities of its present and the possibilities for its future. Join us now as we delve into the annals of time, tracing the footsteps of emperors and warriors, artists and scholars, all of whom have contributed to the rich tapestry of Korean history. Korea's history is not a linear progression, but rather a woven of artistic expressions. The Korean Peninsula coming adversity and emerging stronger, adaptation and resilience as the Korean people navigated the complexities of their geopolitical reality. Located at a crossroads of East Asia, Korea has long been influenced by its powerful neighbours China and Japan. Yet throughout its history, Korea has retained a distinct cultural identity, fiercely guarding its language, customs and artistic expressions. The Korean Peninsula has witnessed periods of unity and division, prosperity and hardship. From the legendary founding of Gojoseon in the 24th century BCE to the establishment of the modern republics in the 20th century, Korea's story is one of constant evolution. It is a chronicle of power struggles and cultural exchanges, of innovation and adaptation. Through it all, the Korean people have demonstrated an indomitable spirit, overcoming adversity and emerging stronger from the crucible of history. This exploration of Korean history will not shy away from the complexities and contradictions that have shaped this nation. We will examine the interplay of internal and external forces, the rise and fall of dynasties, and the enduring legacy of cultural achievements. By unraveling the threads of history, we can gain a deeper understanding of the forces that have shaped modern Korea and the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Our journey begins in the mists of time, with by the mythical figure Dangun. In 23, Gojoseon holds a revered place in Korean national from heaven to establish a kingdom on the Korean peninsula. Millennia. The landscapes of Korea and Manchuria around the time of Gojoseon's purport crafted bronze tools and weapons and established lies not only in its purported antiquity but a unified kingdom on the peninsula. Serving as a testament to the enduring power of myth, by the mythical figure Dangun in 2333 BCE, Gojoseon's origins are shrouded in myth and folklore. Dangun, a semi-divine figure, is believed to have descended from the heavens to create a kingdom that would become the cradle of Korean culture and identity. His story is not just a founding myth, but a symbol of the Korean people's resilience and their deep connection to their land and heritage. While historical evidence of this early period remains scant, Gojoseon holds a revered place in Korean national consciousness, representing the genesis of Korean civilization. The artifacts and ruins that have been discovered offer glimpses into a sophisticated society that valued art, culture, and governance. These remnants, though few, speak volumes about the early Koreans' way of life and their contributions to the broader tapestry of human history. According to legend, Dangun, the son of a heavenly being and a bear-turned-woman, descended from heaven to establish a kingdom on the Korean peninsula. This tale, rich in symbolism, reflects the ancient Koreans' worldview, where the divine and the earthly were deeply intertwined. The bear-turned woman who became Dangun's mother symbolizes transformation and the blending of different realms, a theme that resonates throughout Korean history. This mythical narrative speaks to the deep connection between the Korean people and their land, a relationship that has endured for millennia. The landscapes of Korea, from its rugged mountains to its fertile plains, have shaped the lives and culture of its people. The ancient villages, with their harmonious blend of nature and human habitation, reflect a way of life that is deeply rooted in the natural world. Though much of Gojoseon's history is shrouded in legend, archaeological evidence suggests the existence of a Bronze Age culture in the northern part of the Korean peninsula and Manchuria around the time of Gojoseon's purported founding. These early inhabitants were not just mythic figures, but real people who left behind tangible evidence of their existence. The tools and artifacts they crafted reveal a society that was advanced for its time, with a deep understanding of metallurgy, agriculture, and social organization. These early inhabitants developed agricultural practices, crafted bronze tools and weapons, and established social structures that would lay the foundation for future Korean kingdoms. Their innovations in farming allowed them to sustain larger populations, while their advancements in metallurgy gave them the tools to defend their lands and expand their influence. The social structures they created, with their emphasis on community and hierarchy, would become the blueprint for later Korean states. Gojoseon's legacy lies not only in its purported antiquity, but also in its symbolic importance as the origin point of Korean history and identity. The cultural symbols and ceremonies that have been passed down through the ages are a testament to the enduring influence of this ancient kingdom. These traditions, whether in art, music, or ritual, reflect the values and beliefs that have shaped Korean society for millennia. It represents the emergence of a distinct Korean culture and the establishment of a unified kingdom on the peninsula. The historical maps and artistic depictions of early Korea show a land that was not just a geographical entity, but a cultural and political one. Gojoseon was more than just a kingdom. It was the birthplace of a civilization that would go on to influence the entire region. Though much about Gojoseon remains shrouded in mystery, its legend continues to inspire and captivate the Korean imagination, serving as a testament to the enduring power of myth and the enduring legacy of Korea's ancient past. The festivals and celebrations that take place in modern Korea, with their vibrant displays of traditional dress and customs, are a living reminder of the country's rich heritage. They connect the present to the past, ensuring that the story of Gojoseon, with all its mystery and majesty, continues to be told and retold for generations to come. As Gojoseon's influence waned, the Korean peninsula with great strife and remarkable progress as the found Goryeo, with its vast territories, warfare and shifting alliances, as each political dominance. The leaders of these kingdoms reflect the high level of craftsmanship and creativity of Gojoseon splintered into smaller states, each vying for power and control. The political landscape was in constant flux, with alliances forming and dissolving as quickly as they were made. It was a time of both great strife and remarkable progress, as the foundations of what would become modern Korea were laid during these centuries of turmoil. From the 1st century BCE to the 7th century CE, three rival kingdoms emerged, vying for dominance: Goryeo in the north, Baekje in the southwest, and Silla in the southeast. These three kingdoms were not just political entities, but also cultural powerhouses, each contributing uniquely to the development of Korean civilization. Goryeo, with its vast territories stretching into Manchuria, was known for its formidable military and strategic acumen. Baekje, strategically located along the Yellow Sea, became a hub of maritime trade, connecting Korea with China and Japan. Silla, initially the weakest of the three, gradually rose to prominence through strategic alliances and internal reforms, eventually unifying the peninsula. This era was characterized by constant warfare and shifting alliances, as each kingdom sought to expand its territory and influence. Battles were fought not only on land but also at sea, with naval engagements playing a crucial role in the power dynamics of the region. The fortresses and ruins that dot the Korean landscape today stand as silent witnesses to the fierce conflicts that shaped the course of history. These battles were not just about territorial gains, but also about asserting cultural and political dominance. The leaders of these kingdoms were not only warriors, but also statesmen, navigating the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined the period. Despite the instability, the Three Kingdoms period witnessed a flourishing of art, culture, and technology. Each kingdom developed its own distinct artistic styles and technological innovations, contributing to a rich and diverse cultural heritage. The artifacts from this period, ranging from intricate pottery to sophisticated weaponry, reflect the high level of craftsmanship and creativity that characterized the era. The cultural achievements of the Three Kingdoms were not limited to material artifacts, but also included advancements in literature, music, and dance. These cultural expressions were deeply intertwined with the political and social life of the time, serving as both a means of communication and a tool of statecraft. Goryeo, known for its military prowess, is the landscapes of Manchuria, with their goods, but also for ideas and cultural exchanges that took place during this period. Establishment of a centralized bureaucracy and the promotion influenced by both indigenous traditions and interacts numbers, but also in its innovative tactics and well-trained soldiers. The kingdom's ability to project power over such a large area was a testament to its organizational and logistical capabilities. The landscapes of Manchuria, with their rugged terrain and strategic vantage points, played a crucial role in Goryeo's military strategy. The kingdom's fortresses and defensive structures were marvels of engineering, designed to withstand prolonged sieges and repel invaders. Baekje, with its strategic location on the Yellow Sea, established maritime trade networks that connected it with China and Japan. These trade routes were not just conduits for goods, but also for ideas and cultural exchanges. Baekje's ships, known for their advanced design and navigational capabilities, were a common sight on the seas, carrying not only merchants but also diplomats and scholars. The kingdom's strategic use of its maritime resources allowed it to exert influence far beyond its borders, making it a key player in the regional politics of East Asia. The artifacts recovered from shipwrecks and ancient ports provide a glimpse into the vibrant trade and cultural exchanges that took place during this period. Silla, initially the weakest of the Three Kingdoms, eventually emerged as the dominant power, laying the foundation for the unification of the Korean peninsula. Through a combination of military conquests and strategic alliances, Silla was able to consolidate its power and bring the other kingdoms under its control. The kingdom's rise to prominence was marked by significant internal reforms, including the establishment of a centralized bureaucracy and the promotion of Confucian ideals. Silla's leaders were not only skilled warriors, but also astute politicians, adept at navigating the complex web of alliances and rivalries that characterized the period. The kingdom's eventual unification of the peninsula was a monumental achievement, setting the stage for the development of a unified Korean identity. Each kingdom developed its own distinct cultural identity influenced by both indigenous traditions and interactions with neighboring cultures. The cultural exchanges between Korea, China, and Japan during this period were particularly significant as they facilitated the spread of ideas, technologies, and artistic styles. These interactions were not always peaceful, but they were vibrant tomb murals depicting scenes of daily life offer a glimpse into the rich cultural and kingdom's devotion to the faith. The influence and teachings to the Japanese archipelago. Kingdom's emphasis on education and scholarship led to the establishment. Similarly, Korean innovations in technology and art had a lasting impact on its neighbors, contributing to the rich tapestry of East Asian civilization. Goryeo was known for its vibrant tomb murals depicting scenes of daily life and mythology. These murals are not just artistic masterpieces, but also valuable historical records, providing insights into the beliefs, customs, and daily activities of the people. The vivid colors and intricate details of the murals reflect the high level of artistic skill and cultural sophistication that characterized Goryeo society. The themes depicted in the murals, ranging from mythical creatures to scenes of hunting and feasting, offer a glimpse into the rich cultural and spiritual life of the kingdom. The preservation of these murals over the centuries is a testament to the enduring legacy of Goguryeo's artistic achievements. While Baekje excelled in Buddhist art and architecture, the kingdom's adoption of Buddhism had a profound impact on its cultural and artistic development. Baekje's Buddhist temples and statues are renowned for their elegance and spiritual depth, reflecting the kingdom's devotion to the faith. The influence of Buddhism can be seen in various aspects of Baekje's culture, from its art and architecture to its literature and philosophy. The kingdom's Buddhist heritage continues to be celebrated today, with many of its temples and artifacts recognized as national treasures. The spread of Buddhism from Baekje to Japan is another testament to the kingdom's cultural influence, as it played a key role in the transmission of Buddhist art and teachings to the Japanese archipelago. Silla, influenced by its close ties with China, adopted Confucianism and developed a sophisticated bureaucratic system. The kingdom's embrace of Confucian ideals had a profound impact on its political and social structures, promoting values such as loyalty, filial piety, and social harmony. Silla's bureaucratic system was highly organized and efficient, with a well-defined hierarchy and a merit-based system of appointments. The kingdom's emphasis on education and scholarship led to the establishment of academies and the promotion of literary and philosophical studies. The influence of Confucianism on Silla's political and social life was profound, shaping the kingdom's institutions and values in ways that would have a lasting impact on Korean history. The Three Kingdoms period, though marked by conflict, are celebrated and remembered today. Significant advancements in various fields, including achievement but also a cultural and social milestone. Kingdoms is celebrated and preserved through various dynasty. The legacy of the Three Kingdoms can be seen in the enduring cultural and historical heritage of Korea, from its art and architecture to its political institutions and social values. The period's contributions to Korean civilization are celebrated and remembered today, as they continue to shape the nation's identity and cultural landscape. The unification of the peninsula was not just a political achievement, but also a cultural and social milestone, bringing together diverse traditions and creating a sense of shared identity and purpose. It was a time of cultural exchange and innovation, as each kingdom contributed to the rich tapestry of Korean civilization. The Three Kingdoms period was marked by significant advancements in various fields, including technology, art, literature, and philosophy. The cultural exchanges between the kingdoms and their neighbors facilitated the spread of ideas and innovations, enriching the cultural landscape of the region. The period's contributions to Korean civilization are celebrated and remembered today, as they continue to shape the nation's identity and cultural landscape. The unification of the peninsula was not just a political achievement, but also a cultural and social milestone, bringing together diverse traditions and creating a sense of shared identity and purpose. The legacy of the Three Kingdoms period can be seen in the art, architecture, and traditions that continue to shape Korean culture today. The period's influence is evident in various aspects of modern Korean life, from its festivals and ceremonies to its art and architecture. The cultural heritage of the Three Kingdoms is celebrated and preserved through various means, including museums, historical sites, and cultural festivals. The period's contributions to Korean civilization are celebrated and remembered today, as they continue to shape the nation's identity and cultural landscape. The unification of the peninsula was not just a political achievement, but also a cultural and social milestone, bringing together diverse traditions and creating a sense of shared identity and purpose. Section 5. Silla's triumph and Goryeo achieved a historic victory, unifying the Korean peninsula. For the civilized government promoted Buddhism and fostered to the kingdom's devotion to the religion and the implementation of policies that promoted ended. connecting Korea with neighboring countries and knowledge and abilities, helped to create a more efficient texts, which helped to disseminate Buddhist teachings. 7th century CE, the kingdom of Silla, with the support of the Tang Dynasty of China, achieved a historic victory, unifying the Korean peninsula for the first time in centuries. This unification was not merely a military conquest, but a complex process involving diplomacy, strategic alliances, and cultural integration. The alliance with the Tang dynasty was crucial, as it provided Silla with the military and political support needed to overcome its rivals, Baekje and Goryeo. The Silla kingdom, under its able rulers, established a centralized government, promoted Buddhism, and fostered a golden age of culture and prosperity. The rulers of Silla, such as King Munmu and Queen Seondeok, were instrumental in consolidating power and implementing reforms that strengthened the kingdom. Buddhism played a central role in Silla society, influencing art, architecture, and daily life. The construction of magnificent temples like Bulguksa and the creation of exquisite Buddhist statues are testaments to the kingdom's devotion to the religion and its cultural achievements. The unification of Korea under Silla marked a turning point in Korean history. It brought an end to centuries of fragmentation and conflict, allowing for a period of relative peace and stability. This newfound unity enabled the Silla kingdom to focus on internal development and cultural flourishing. The centralized government established by Silla's rulers facilitated efficient administration and the implementation of policies that promoted economic growth and social harmony. It ushered in an era of relative peace and stability, allowing for the flourishing of art, literature, and trade. The Silla period saw the creation of remarkable works of art, including intricate gold jewelry, pottery, and paintings. Literature also thrived with the compilation of historical records and the creation of poetic works that reflected the values and beliefs of the time. Trade routes expanded, connecting Korea with neighboring countries and facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture. Silla's rulers, influenced by Tang China, implemented Confucian principles in government and society, establishing a bureaucratic system that would shape Korean governance for centuries to come. The adoption of Confucianism brought about significant changes in the social and political structure of Silla. The establishment of a merit-based bureaucracy, where officials were selected based on their knowledge and abilities, helped to create a more efficient and just administration. Confucian ideals also emphasized the importance of education, family, and social harmony, which became deeply ingrained in Korean culture. Buddhism, which had spread to Korea from China via the Silk Road, flourished under Silla's patronage, becoming a central pillar of Korean culture and spirituality. The Silla rulers actively supported the construction of temples and the translation of Buddhist texts, which helped to disseminate Buddhist teachings throughout the kingdom. Monasteries became centers of learning and cultural exchange, attracting scholars and monks from across Asia. The influence of Buddhism extended beyond religion, shaping art, literature, and even the political landscape of Silla. Silla artisans produced exquisite Buddhist sculptures, intricate goldwork, and magnificent temples, many of which still stand today as testaments to the artistic brilliance of this era. The craftsmanship of Silla artisans is evident in the kingdom faced internal strife and external threats from the remnants of the way for the rise of a new dynasty, Goryeo, built upon the foundations laid by Silla and ushering the lasting impact of this dynasty on the nation's identity of movable metal-type printing during this period for over 4 centuries, leaving an indelible mark. Invasions and internal strife. The Goryeo's reign was not without its challenges. The kingdom faced internal strife and external threats that tested its resilience and ability to maintain control over the unified peninsula. Factionalism and power struggles within the royal court often led to political instability and weakened the central authority. Additionally, the remnants of the defeated Baekje and Goryeo kingdoms continued to pose a threat as they sought to regain their lost territories and influence. Internal strife and external threats from the remnants of Baekje and Goryeo tested the kingdom's resilience. The constant need to defend against invasions and suppress rebellions placed a significant strain on Silla's resources and military capabilities. Despite these challenges, the kingdom managed to maintain its dominance for several centuries, thanks to the strategic leadership of its rulers and the loyalty of its people. By the 10th century, Silla's power began to decline, paving the way for the rise of a new dynasty, Goryeo. The decline of Silla was marked by a series of internal conflicts, economic difficulties, and external pressures that eroded the kingdom's stability. As the central authority weakened, regional leaders and military commanders began to assert their independence, leading to the fragmentation of the kingdom. This period of transition set the stage for the emergence of the Goryeo dynasty, which would build upon the foundations laid by Silla and usher in a new era of Korean history. The Goryeo dynasty, founded in 918 CE, inherited a unified kingdom from Silla. The founder of the Goryeo dynasty, King Taejo, was a skilled military leader and diplomat who successfully consolidated power and established a new central government. The name Goryeo is the origin of the modern name Korea, reflecting the lasting impact of this dynasty on the nation's identity. Under Goryeo rule, the kingdom continued to develop its political institutions, cultural achievements, and economic prosperity. Under Goryeo rule, Korea experienced another period of cultural flowering, marked by advancements in printing, ceramics, and literature. The Goryeo dynasty is particularly renowned for its contributions to the arts and technology. The invention of movable metal-type printing during this period revolutionized the production of books and the dissemination of knowledge. Goryeo celadon pottery, with its distinctive green glaze and intricate designs, is considered some of the finest ceramic work in the world. Literature also flourished, with the creation of important historical texts, poetry, and philosophical works that continue to be studied and admired today. The Goryeo dynasty would go on to rule for over 4 centuries, leaving an indelible mark on Korean history and culture. The architectural achievements of the Goryeo period, including the construction of grand palaces, temples, and fortresses, reflect the kingdom's wealth and artistic vision. The Goryeo dynasty also played a crucial role in the development of Korean identity, as it navigated complex relationships with neighboring states, including the powerful Mongol Empire. Despite facing numerous challenges, including invasions and internal strife, the Goryeo dynasty managed to maintain its sovereignty and cultural integrity, laying the groundwork for the future development of Korea. Section 6. Confucianism's embrace. For a centralized government and a flourishing society. One of the most significant developments during the Goryeo period that originated in China emphasizes social administration, social structures, and personal establishing a meritocratic system of civil service examination. This emphasis on education and meritocracy. The Goryeo dynasty was established by King Taejo, who unified the later 3 kingdoms of Korea. His reign set the foundation for a centralized government and a flourishing society. This period witnessed a flourishing of art, literature, and technology, solidifying Korea's place as a center of cultural innovation in East Asia. The Goryeo dynasty is particularly noted for its advancements in the arts, including the creation of exquisite celadon pottery, which became highly prized throughout the region. Literature also thrived, with the compilation of important historical texts and the development of unique Korean literary forms. One of the most significant developments during the Goryeo period was the increasing influence of Confucianism. Confucianism, which originated in China, began to take root in Korea during this time, profoundly impacting Korean society and governance. The adoption of Confucian ideals helped to shape the moral and ethical framework of the Goryeo dynasty, influencing everything from government policies to social customs. Confucianism, a philosophical and ethical system that originated in China, emphasizes social harmony, respect for elders, and the importance of education. These principles resonated deeply with the Korean people, who valued family, community, and learning. Confucianism provided a structured approach to governance and social organization, promoting the idea that a well-ordered society is based on the cultivation of virtue and the proper conduct of individuals. Confucian ideals permeated Korean society, shaping government administration, social structures and personal conduct. The Goryeo rulers embraced Confucianism as a guiding philosophy, integrating its principles into the fabric of their governance. This led to the establishment of a meritocratic system, where individuals were selected for government positions based on their abilities and knowledge, rather than their social status or connections. The Goryeo rulers adopted Confucian principles in their governance, establishing a meritocratic system of civil service examinations that allowed talented individuals, regardless of their social standing, to rise through the ranks of government. This system was designed to ensure that the most capable and virtuous individuals were placed in positions of authority, thereby promoting good governance and social stability. The civil service examinations tested candidates on their knowledge of Confucian texts and their ability to apply Confucian principles to practical governance. This emphasis on education and meritocracy led to the growth of a scholarly class and fostered intellectual pursuits. Scholars became highly respected members of society, and their contributions to literature, philosophy, and science were greatly valued. The Goryeo dynasty saw the establishment of numerous art, including painting, sculpture, and ceramic effects. The beauty and craft wider audience. The development, navigating through periods of internal challenges, is a testament to the strength of its legacy. Of the Goryeo dynasty is a testament to the endurance. Arts were not only a means of personal expression, but also a reflection of the society's values and beliefs. Goryeo artists excelled in various forms of art, including painting, sculpture, and ceramics. Their works often depicted themes from nature, mythology, and Confucian ideals, showcasing the harmony between humanity and the natural world. Goryeo celadon, a type of ceramic ware known for its elegant form and delicate jade-green glaze, became highly prized throughout East Asia. The production of celadon pottery required great skill and precision, and Goryeo artisans developed innovative techniques to achieve the desired effects. The beauty and craftsmanship of Goryeo celadon made it a symbol of the dynasty's cultural sophistication and artistic excellence. The invention of metal movable type printing in the 13th century, centuries before Gutenberg's printing press in Europe, revolutionized book production and facilitated the spread of knowledge. This technological advancement allowed for the mass production of texts, making literature and educational materials more accessible to a wider audience. The development of printing technology in Korea is a testament to the Goryeo dynasty's commitment to education and intellectual growth. The Goryeo dynasty's legacy lies not only in its cultural brilliance, but also in its resilience. Despite facing numerous challenges, the dynasty managed to endure for nearly 5 centuries, leaving a lasting impact on Korean history and culture. The Goryeo rulers demonstrated remarkable adaptability and resourcefulness, navigating through periods of internal strife and external threats. The kingdom faced numerous challenges during its reign, including invasions from the Khitan people to the north and the Mongols, who eventually conquered Korea in the 13th century. These invasions tested the strength and unity of the Goryeo dynasty, but the kingdom's leaders and people showed remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. The Goryeo dynasty's ability to withstand these challenges is a testament to the strength of its institutions and the determination of its people. Despite these hardships, the Goryeo dynasty endured, demonstrating the strength and adaptability of Korean culture. The dynasty's fortifications and military strategies played a crucial role in defending the kingdom against external threats. The Goryeo warriors, known for their bravery and skill, were instrumental in protecting the kingdom and preserving its sovereignty. The legacy of the Goryeo dynasty is a testament to the enduring spirit of the Korean people and their ability to overcome challenges and thrive in the face of adversity. Section 7. The Joseon dynasty's enduring legacy rose to prominence, bringing with him a vision for a unified, but also his ability to garner support from various as the state ideology. This shift was pursuit of knowledge. This philosophical shift This belief was reflected in the establishment of states to explore new ideas and express their creativity, part as a visionary leader. The creator was vulnerable to internal strife and external threats. Amidst this turmoil, a new leader rose to prominence, bringing with him a vision for a unified and prosperous Korea. General Yi Seong-gye, hailing from a prominent military family, seized control of the throne and established the Joseon dynasty, which would rule Korea for over 5 centuries, making it one of the longest-lasting dynasties in world history. Yi Seong-gye, later known as King Taeyo, was a skilled military strategist and a charismatic leader. His rise to power was not merely a result of his military prowess, but also his ability to garner support from various factions within the Korean peninsula. By consolidating power and implementing strategic reforms, he laid the foundation for a dynasty that would leave an indelible mark on Korean history. The Joseon dynasty marked a period of significant transformation in Korea. The new rulers sought to distance themselves from the perceived decadence of the late Goryeo period and embraced Neo-Confucianism as the state ideology. This shift was not just a change in political power, but a profound cultural and intellectual renaissance that would shape the identity of Korea for centuries to come. The new rulers sought to distance themselves from the perceived decadence of the late Goryeo period and embraced Neo-Confucianism as the state ideology. Neo-Confucianism, a revival of Confucian thought that emerged in China during the Song dynasty, emphasized moral principles, social order, and the pursuit of knowledge. This philosophical shift had far-reaching implications for Korean society, influencing everything from governance and education to family structure and social norms. Neo-Confucianism, a revival of Confucian thought that emerged in China during the Song dynasty, emphasized moral principles, social order, and the pursuit of knowledge. The Joseon rulers believed that by adopting these principles, they could create a more just and harmonious society. This belief was reflected in the establishment of state-sponsored schools and academies, where scholars were trained in Confucian classics and prepared for civil service examinations. These institutions played a crucial role in promoting literacy and intellectual development across the kingdom. Under the Joseon dynasty, Korea underwent a period of cultural and intellectual renewal. The emphasis on education and scholarly pursuits led to the flourishing of arts and sciences. Scholars and artists were encouraged to explore new ideas and express their creativity, resulting in a vibrant cultural landscape that celebrated both tradition and innovation. King Sejong the Great, considered one of the most enlightened rulers in Korean history, commissioned the creation of Hangul, the Korean alphabet, in 1443. King Sejong's reign is often regarded as the golden age of the Joseon dynasty. His commitment to improving the lives of his people through education and innovation set him apart as a visionary leader. The creation of Hangul was a monumental achievement that democratized literacy and empowered the common people. Hangul, a phonetic writing system designed to be easy to learn and use, revolutionized literacy in Korea, allowing people of all classes to access knowledge and express themselves in writing. Before Hangul, the Korean language was written using classical Chinese characters, which were complex and difficult for the average person to learn. Hangul's simplicity and accessibility made it possible for would enhance agricultural productivity. Medical astronomers made significant observations of the heavens, landscape, and the intricacies of courtly life. Period continued to influence contemporary Korean society culture, reflecting the enduring influence of resilience of the Joseon rulers and the Korean Joseon era. The legacy of this supported various research initiatives and encouraged the development of new tools and techniques that would enhance agricultural productivity, medical knowledge, and astronomical observations. Scholars developed new agricultural techniques, improving crop yields and contributing to economic prosperity. These advancements were crucial in ensuring food security and supporting the growing population. Innovations such as improved irrigation systems, crop rotation methods, and the introduction of new crops helped to sustain the kingdom's economy and enhance the quality of life for its people. Astronomers made significant observations of the heavens, while physicians advanced medical knowledge. The Joseon dynasty's commitment to scientific exploration led to remarkable achievements in various fields. Astronomers meticulously recorded celestial events, contributing to a better understanding of the cosmos. Meanwhile, physicians and herbalists made strides in medical practices, developing treatments and remedies that improved public health and well-being. The arts flourished, with painters capturing the beauty of the Korean landscape and the intricacies of courtly life. The Joseon period was a time of artistic renaissance, with painters, poets and musicians creating works that reflected the cultural richness and diversity of the kingdom. Landscape paintings, in particular, became a popular genre, showcasing the natural beauty of Korea's mountains, rivers and countryside. The Joseon dynasty's legacy is deeply ingrained in Korean culture and identity. The values and traditions established during this period continue to influence contemporary Korean society. Festivals, ceremonies and cultural practices that originated in the Joseon era are still celebrated today, serving as a testament to the enduring impact of this remarkable dynasty. Its emphasis on education, Confucian values and cultural achievements continues to shape Korean society today. The principles of respect for elders, filial piety, and the importance of education are deeply rooted in Korean culture, reflecting the enduring influence of Neo-Confucianism. These values are evident in the strong emphasis on academic achievement and the reverence for teachers and scholars in modern Korea. However, the Joseon dynasty also faced its share of challenges, including internal power struggles, factionalism within the ruling elite, and devastating invasions by Japan in the late 16th century and by the Manchus in the early 17th century. These conflicts tested the resilience of the Joseon rulers and the Korean people. The Imjin War, also known as the Japanese invasions of Korea, brought immense destruction and hardship, but it also showcased the bravery and determination of Korean warriors and civilians. Despite these trials, the Joseon dynasty endured, demonstrating the resilience and adaptability of the Korean people. The ability to overcome adversity and rebuild in the face of challenges is a defining characteristic of the Joseon era. The legacy of this dynasty is not only found in its cultural and intellectual achievements, but also in the enduring spirit of the Korean people, who have continued to draw strength from their history and heritage. Section 8. A land divided, shadows of occupying with internal strife and external pressures. Centuries of rule and plagued by corruption and faction shadow over the Korean peninsula. Japan's Meiji Restoration set its sights on expanding political maneuvering and military pressure, Japan ignoring the profound impact it had on the Korean peninsula and its people. As the 19th century drew to a close, the Joseon dynasty, once a beacon of stability in East Asia, found itself grappling with internal strife and external pressures. The dynasty, which had ruled Korea for over 5 centuries, was now facing unprecedented challenges. The internal strife was characterized by power struggles among the ruling elite, corruption, and a lack of effective governance. These issues were compounded by external pressures from neighboring countries and Western powers, all vying for influence in the region. The once mighty dynasty, weakened by centuries of rule and plagued by corruption and factionalism, struggled to adapt to the rapidly changing geopolitical landscape of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The internal divisions within the court made it difficult to present a united front against external threats. Factionalism led to infighting and a lack of coherent policy, further weakening the state's ability to respond to the challenges it faced. The rise of Japan as a regional power cast a long shadow over the Korean peninsula. Japan, having successfully modernized its economy and military during the Meiji Restoration, was now looking to expand its influence. The Korean peninsula, strategically located between Japan and the Asian mainland, became a focal point of Japanese expansionist ambitions. The Japanese government viewed control over Korea as essential for securing its own national security and economic interests. Japan, having undergone a period of rapid modernization known as the Meiji Restoration, set its sights on expanding its empire, viewing Korea as a strategic foothold on the Asian mainland. The Meiji Restoration had transformed Japan from a feudal society into a modern industrial state. With its newfound military and economic strength, Japan was eager to assert its dominance in East Asia. The Korean peninsula, with its rich natural resources and strategic location, was seen as a valuable prize. In 1910, after years of political maneuvering and military pressure, Japan formally annexed Korea, beginning a brutal 35-year period of colonial rule. The annexation was the culmination of a series of treaties and agreements that gradually eroded Korean sovereignty. The Japanese government employed a combination of diplomacy and the Korean people into the Japanese Empire. It was part of a broader effort to assimilate the Korean particularly painful aspect of the occupation for many could force these policies, using propaganda were pressured to conform to Japanese norms. Marked by cultural suppression, economic exploitation and widespread human rights abuses. The Japanese colonial authorities implemented policies aimed at eradicating Korean cultural identity and assimilating the Korean people into the Japanese Empire. These policies included the suppression of the Korean language, the imposition of Japanese cultural practices, and the destruction of Korean historical sites and artifacts. The Japanese colonial authorities sought to erase Korean cultural identity, replacing the Korean language with Japanese in schools and government institutions. Korean children were taught in Japanese, and the use of the Korean language was discouraged and often punished. This policy was part of a broader effort to assimilate the Korean population and eliminate any sense of Korean national identity. The Japanese authorities believed that by erasing Korean culture, they could more easily control the population and integrate Korea into the Japanese Empire. Replacing the Korean language with Japanese in schools and government institutions, forcing Koreans to adopt Japanese names, and suppressing Korean traditions and customs. The adoption of Japanese names was a particularly painful aspect of the occupation for many Koreans. It was a symbolic act of erasure, stripping individuals of their cultural heritage and identity. Traditional Korean customs and practices were also suppressed, with the Japanese authorities promoting Japanese cultural norms and values instead, forcing Koreans to adopt Japanese names and suppressing Korean traditions and customs. The Japanese authorities went to great lengths to enforce these policies, using propaganda, education and coercion to achieve their goals. Korean cultural practices, such as traditional clothing, festivals and rituals, were discouraged or outright banned. The Japanese authorities sought to create a homogeneous society in which Korean culture was subsumed by Japanese culture, and suppressing Korean traditions and customs. The suppression of Korean culture was not limited to the public sphere. In private, too, Koreans were pressured to conform to Japanese norms. This created a sense of alienation and loss among the Korean timber to support Japan's industrial growth and hardship. The Japanese authorities implemented, leading to widespread food shortages and hardship for the benefit of the Japanese Empire, leading to the spirit of resistance was kept alive by the resisted. Korea's natural resources were plundered to fuel Japan's industrial ambitions. The Japanese colonial authorities exploited Korea's rich natural resources, including coal, iron and timber, to support Japan's industrial growth. This exploitation had a devastating impact on the Korean environment and economy. Forests were cleared, mines were dug, and rivers were polluted, all to extract resources for the benefit of the Japanese Empire. The Korean people, meanwhile, saw little benefit from this exploitation, as the profits were funneled back to Japan, while Korean farmers were forced to grow cash crops for export, leading to widespread food shortages and hardship. The Japanese authorities implemented agricultural policies that prioritized the production of cash crops such as rice and cotton for export to Japan. This left Korean farmers with little land or resources to grow food for their own consumption. As a result, food shortages became common, and many Koreans faced hunger and malnutrition. The agricultural policies also disrupted traditional farming practices and led to the displacement of many rural communities, leading to widespread food shortages and hardship. The economic exploitation of Korea extended beyond agriculture. The Japanese authorities also established industries in Korea, using Korean labor to produce goods for the Japanese market. Working conditions in these industries were often harsh, with long hours, low wages, and little regard for worker safety. The economic policies of the Japanese colonial authorities created a system in which the Korean people were exploited for the benefit of the Japanese Empire, leading to widespread poverty and suffering. The Korean people, however, never accepted Japanese rule passively. Despite the harsh conditions and brutal repression, the Korean people resisted Japanese rule in various ways. Acts of resistance range from everyday acts of defiance, such as speaking Korean in private or practicing traditional customs, to organized movements aimed at overthrowing the Japanese colonial authorities. The spirit of resistance was kept alive by the determination and courage of the Korean people who refused to be subjugated. Resistance movements sprung up across the country and abroad within the community, appealing to foreign governments and organized. The sacrifices made by those who fought for Korean independence, particularly in China, the United States and Russia, scars of the occupation were deep, affecting every aspect of protests and diplomatic efforts. Korean intellectuals and activists played a crucial role in these movements, using their knowledge and skills to organize and inspire others. Many Koreans also sought support from the international community, appealing to foreign governments and organizations for assistance in their struggle for independence, with activists, intellectuals, and ordinary citizens risking their lives to fight for Korean independence. The resistance efforts were met with brutal repression by the Japanese authorities, who used violence, imprisonment, and torture to crush dissent. Despite this, the Korean people continued to resist, driven by a deep sense of national pride and a desire for freedom. The sacrifices made by those who fought for Korean independence are remembered and honored to this day as a testament to the resilience and determination of the Korean people. These resistance efforts, both within Korea and among the Korean diaspora, kept the flame of Korean nationalism alive during the dark years of Japanese occupation. The Korean diaspora played a significant role in the resistance movement, providing support and resources to those fighting in Korea. Korean communities abroad, particularly in China, the United States and Russia, became centers of resistance activity, organizing protests, raising funds, and spreading awareness of the Korean struggle for independence. The efforts of the Korean diaspora helped to sustain the resistance movement and keep the hope of independence alive. The end of World War II brought an end to Japanese rule in Korea, but the legacy of the occupation continued to shape the Korean peninsula for decades to come. The scars of the occupation were deep, affecting every aspect of Korean society, from its economy and politics to its culture and identity. The struggle for independence and the experiences of the occupation period became central to the Korean national narrative, shaping the country's path forward and its sense of identity. The resilience and determination of the Korean people during this dark chapter in their history continue to inspire future generations, reminding them of the importance of freedom, justice, and national pride. Section 9. The Korean War's bitter future. However, this newfound union, this global power struggle would have profound the surrender of Japanese forces and to Soviet Union, eager to expand its influence in East landscape, and US forces occupying communism in the region. This division, celebrations, and there was a palpable sense of optimism in the air. Families reunited, and communities came together to envision a brighter future. However, this newfound hope was soon overshadowed by the geopolitical tensions that were brewing on the global stage. However, the joy of liberation from Japanese rule was short-lived, as the Korean peninsula became ensnared in the emerging Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. The world was rapidly dividing into two ideological camps: the capitalist West, led by the United States, and the communist East, led by the Soviet Union. This global power struggle would have profound implications for Korea, a nation caught in the crossfire of these superpowers. The ideological battle lines were drawn, and Korea found itself at the epicenter of this new global conflict. With the defeat of Japan, Korea, which had been under Japanese control since 1910, was divided along the 38th parallel. This division was initially intended as a temporary measure to facilitate the surrender of Japanese forces and to oversee the transition to independence. The 38th parallel was chosen somewhat arbitrarily, without much consideration for the cultural, historical, and social ties that bound the Korean people together. This line, which was meant to be a mere administrative convenience, would soon become a symbol of a much deeper and more enduring divide, with Soviet forces occupying the north. The Soviet Union, eager to expand its influence in East Asia, quickly moved to establish a foothold in the northern part of Korea. Soviet soldiers marched into the region, bringing with them the ideology and political structures of communism. They supported local communist leaders and began to lay the groundwork for a new state that would align with Soviet interests. The presence of Soviet troops in the north marked the beginning of a profound transformation in the region's political landscape, and US forces occupying the south. Meanwhile, in the southern part of Korea, American forces arrived with the goal of establishing a democratic government that would be aligned with Western values and interests. The United States, wary of the spread of communism, was determined to create a strong, independent and capitalist South Korea. American soldiers worked alongside local leaders to build the institutions of a new state, one that would serve as a bulwark against the spread of communism in the region. This division, intended as a temporary measure to oversee the transition to independence, quickly solidified into a hardened political and ideological divide. What was meant to be a short-term solution became a long-term People's Republic of Korea. Kim Il-sung after the Soviet Union, the new regime in North Leninism. This totalitarian state to democratic principles and capitalist industries and improved the standard of living for its people. And communities that had once been united were now divided by an invisible yet impenetrable line. In the north, Kim Il-sung, a communist guerrilla leader backed by the Soviet Union, established the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Kim Il-sung, who had fought against Japanese occupation, emerged as the leader of the new North Korean state. With Soviet support, he consolidated power and began to implement a series of sweeping reforms aimed at transforming North Korea into a socialist state. Land reforms, nationalization of industries, and the establishment of a centralized economy were all part of Kim's vision for a new North Korea, a totalitarian state modeled after the Soviet Union. The new regime in North Korea was characterized by its strict control over all aspects of life. The government maintained a tight grip on the economy, the media, and the military. Propaganda was used extensively to promote the ideals of communism and to glorify the leadership of Kim Il-sung. The state sought to create a society that was loyal, disciplined, and ideologically aligned with the principles of Marxism-Leninism. This totalitarian system would shape the lives of North Koreans for generations to come. In the south, Syngman Rhee, an anti-communist nationalist supported by the United States, became the first president of the Republic of Korea. Syngman Rhee, who had spent many years in exile advocating for Korean independence, returned to lead the new South Korean state. With American backing, Rhee established a government that was committed to democratic principles and capitalist development. However, Rhee's rule was also marked by authoritarian tendencies, as he sought to suppress communist sympathizers and consolidate his own power. A capitalist democracy aligned with the West. The new South Korean government embarked on a path of rapid modernization and economic development. With substantial aid from the United States, South Korea began to rebuild its infrastructure, develop its industries, and improve the standard of living for its people. Political rallies and public speeches emphasized the values of freedom, democracy, and economic progress. The South Korean state was determined to present itself as a model of success in contrast to the communist North. The Korean War, which erupted on June 25, 1950, was a direct result of the deepening divide between the North and the South. The tensions that had been simmering for years finally boiled. The invasion caught the South Korean and American brought untold suffering to the Korean people. The war, which lasted for 3 years, accountable. The war left a legacy of physical veterans who would carry the scars of the conflict for the rest. The stages of the invasion were marked by rapid advances and significant territorial gains for the North, when North Korean forces, backed by the Soviet Union and China, invaded South Korea. The invasion caught the South Korean and American forces off guard, leading to a series of desperate battles as they tried to halt the North Korean advance. The North Korean troops, well-trained and highly motivated, pushed deep into South Korean territory, capturing key cities and strategic locations. The situation was dire, and it seemed as though the entire peninsula might soon fall under communist control. It was a tragedy of immense proportions. The Korean War brought untold suffering to the Korean people. Cities were reduced to rubble, and the countryside was scarred by the relentless fighting. Homes, schools and hospitals were destroyed, and countless lives were disrupted. The human cost of the war was staggering, with millions of Koreans losing their lives, their loved ones and their homes. The war left deep psychological scars on the survivors, and the memories of the conflict would haunt the nation for decades to come. The war, which lasted for 3 years, devastated the Korean peninsula. The fighting was intense and brutal, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The front lines shifted back and forth, and entire regions were laid waste by the relentless combat. The Korean landscape, once lush and vibrant, was transformed into a desolate war zone. The scale of the destruction was immense, and the task of rebuilding seemed almost insurmountable. The war left a legacy of physical and emotional devastation that would take generations to heal, claiming the lives of millions of Koreans, both soldiers and civilians. The human toll of the Korean War was immense. Soldiers on both sides fought with determination and bravery, but the cost was high. Civilians, caught in the crossfire, suffered unimaginable hardships. Families were torn apart and communities were shattered. The war created a generation of orphans, widows and veterans who would carry the scars of the conflict for the rest of their lives. Memorials and monuments were erected to honor the fallen, but the pain of their loss was felt deeply by the entire nation, and leaving a legacy of division and mistrust that continues to this day. The Korean War ended with an armistice in 1953, but the peninsula remained divided. The Demilitarized Zone, DMZ, was established as a buffer between the North and the South, a stark reminder of the unresolved conflict. The DMZ, heavily fortified and patronised its forces to support the South Korean government. Significant escalation of the conflict. China support North Korea. The Chinese highlighted the complex web of alliances and rivalries and their influence and challenge Western dominance in the Korean peninsula. The war also drew in the United States, which intervened militarily on behalf of South Korea. The United States, committed to containing the spread of communism, quickly mobilized its forces to support the South Korean government. American troops, along with forces from other United Nations member states, fought alongside South Korean soldiers in a bid to repel the North Korean invasion. The US military played a crucial role in turning the tide of the war, providing essential support in terms of manpower, equipment and strategic planning, and China, which sent troops to support North Korea. The entry of Chinese forces into the war marked a significant escalation of the conflict. China, concerned about the presence of American troops near its border, decided to intervene on behalf of North Korea. Chinese soldiers, often referred to as the People's Volunteers, crossed the Yalu River and engaged in fierce battles with UN and South Korean forces. The involvement of China added a new dimension to the war, making it a truly international conflict with far-reaching implications, which sent troops to support North Korea. The Chinese intervention was a turning point in the Korean War. The sheer number of Chinese troops and their willingness to endure harsh conditions and heavy casualties had a profound impact on the course of the conflict. The Chinese forces launched a series of offensives that pushed UN and South Korean troops back, leading to a protracted and bloody stalemate. The involvement of China underscored the global stakes of the Korean War and highlighted the complex web of alliances and rivalries that defined the Cold War era, turning the Korean War into a proxy war between the superpowers. The Korean War was not just a conflict between North and South Korea. It was a battleground for the competing ideologies of the Cold War. The United States and its allies saw the war as a crucial front in the fight against the spread of communism, while the Soviet Union and China viewed it as an opportunity to expand their influence and challenge Western dominance. The war became a proxy conflict, with both sides receiving substantial support from their respective superpower patrons. This dynamic turned the Korean peninsula into a microcosm of the broader global struggle between East and West. Section 10. Two Koreas, Two Worlds. The destinies of the two Koreas in profoundly different ways. The DMZ is not just a physical barrier, but also independence from foreign influence and a strong life, from the economy to the media, ensuring hardship. However, through a combination, the conflict which began in 1950 saw millions of lives lost and countless families torn apart. The war's end marked the beginning of a new era, one characterized by a stark division that would shape the destinies of the two Koreas in profoundly different ways. The two Koreas, separated by a heavily fortified demilitarized zone, embarked on vastly different paths, both politically and economically. The DMZ, a strip of land running across the Korean peninsula, serves as a buffer zone between North and South Korea. It is one of the most heavily militarized borders in the world, symbolizing the deep-seated tensions and hostilities that persist to this day. The DMZ is not just a physical barrier, but also a psychological one, representing the ideological chasm that divides the two nations. North Korea, under the iron-fisted rule of Kim Il-sung and his successors, developed into a reclusive, authoritarian state, prioritizing military might over the well-being of its people. Kim Il-sung, the founding leader of North Korea, established a regime based on the principles of juche, or self-reliance, which emphasized independence from foreign influence and a strong centralized government. This ideology was used to justify the regime's oppressive policies and its focus on building a formidable military. The North Korean government implemented a strict system of state control, suppressing individual freedoms and isolating its citizens from the outside world. Propaganda became a tool of the state, used to maintain control and promote the regime's narrative. The government tightly controlled all aspects of life, from the economy to the media, ensuring that the population remained loyal and obedient. The isolation of North Korea from the international community further entrenched its status as a pariah state. South Korea, on the other hand, emerged from the devastation of war to become an economic powerhouse, embracing capitalism and democracy. The journey was not easy. The country faced numerous challenges, including political instability and economic hardship. However, through a combination of government-led industrialization, foreign aid, and the resilience of its people, South Korea was able to rebuild and transform itself. The country underwent rapid industrialization, with the government playing a key role in directing economic development and fostering growth. Fueled by a combination of government-led industrialization, automobiles, the dedication and hard caused the vast differences in development and quality of life continued to prioritize its military ambitions. Korean technology companies such as Samsung and LG, and the ongoing struggle for peace and reunification. The country's economic miracle, often referred to as the miracle on the Han River, saw South Korea become a major player in global markets, with industries ranging from electronics to automobiles. The dedication and hard work of the South Korean people were instrumental in this transformation. The contrast between the two Koreas could not be starker. While South Korea flourished, North Korea remained isolated and impoverished. The nighttime satellite images of the Korean peninsula starkly illustrate this divide, with South Korea brightly lit and bustling with activity, while North Korea remains shrouded in darkness. This visual representation underscores the vast differences in development and quality of life between the two nations. North Korea, isolated and impoverished, remained trapped in a time warp, clinging to an ideology that had long since been discredited. The regime's focus on military strength and self-reliance came at the expense of economic development and the well-being of its citizens. The country faced chronic food shortages, economic stagnation, and widespread poverty. Despite these hardships, the regime continued to prioritize its military ambitions, further isolating the country from the rest of the world. South Korea, vibrant and technologically advanced, became a global hub for innovation, culture and technology with its K-pop music, innovative tech companies and cultural exports captivating audiences worldwide. The country's cultural influence, often referred to as the Korean Wave or Hallyu, has had a significant impact on global popular culture. South Korean technology companies such as Samsung and LG have become household names, known for their cutting-edge products and innovations. The division of Korea, a product of Cold War geopolitics, continues to cast a long shadow over the Korean peninsula, a constant reminder of the human cost of ideological conflict and the enduring legacy of a war that never truly ended. The Korean War memorials and the continued presence of the DMZ serve as poignant reminders of the sacrifices made and the ongoing struggle for peace and reunification. The hope for a unified Korea remains a distant dream, but the resilience and determination of the Korean people continue to inspire hope for a better future. Section 11. A legacy of resilience. Captivating audiences worldwide with their creativity. While the political and arts, the path toward reunification transcends political boundaries. In South Korea, the rapid economic development and democratization of the late 20th and early 21st centuries have been accompanied by a flourishing of arts, culture, and national pride. South Korean cinema, music, and literature have gained global recognition, captivating audiences worldwide with their creativity, emotional depth, and technical mastery. North Korea, despite its isolation and the hardships faced by its people, has also maintained a strong sense of national identity, rooted in its history, culture, and the mythology surrounding its leadership. The North Korean government has invested heavily in promoting a narrative of self-reliance and national pride, emphasizing the country's resilience in the face of adversity and its unique cultural heritage. While the political and ideological chasm between the two Koreas remains wide, there are glimmers of hope for reconciliation and a shared future. Family reunions, though infrequent and carefully orchestrated, offer brief but emotionally charged moments of connection for families separated by the Korean War. Cultural exchanges, while limited, provide opportunities for artists, athletes, and performers from both sides to connect and share their talents. The path toward reunification remains fraught with challenges, but the shared history, language, and cultural heritage of the Korean people offer a foundation upon which a more peaceful and prosperous future might be built. Section 12. Looking ahead. The Korean reminded of the enduring spirit of the Korean people, transformation marked by both triumphs and tragedies of a rapidly changing world. The demilitarized sunrise over the DMZ heralds a new day, The sight of the South Korean and North Korean people offer a powerful foundation upon creativity and unity that have defined Korea through the ages. As we conclude our exploration of Korea's long and tumultuous history, we are reminded of the enduring spirit of the Korean people, their resilience in the face of adversity, and their capacity for innovation and creativity. The vibrant festivals, the traditional attire, and the close-knit families all paint a picture of a society deeply rooted in its heritage, yet always looking forward with hope and determination. From the mythical founding of Gojoseon to the technological marvels of the 21st century, Korea's journey has been one of constant transformation, marked by both triumphs and tragedies. The ancient ruins stand as silent witnesses to a bygone era, while the modern skyline, with its towering skyscrapers and cutting-edge technology, speaks to a nation that has embraced progress and innovation. The juxtaposition of the old and the new is a testament to Korea's ability to honor its past while forging a path toward the future. Today, the Korean peninsula stands at a crossroads, burdened by the legacy of division and the uncertainties of a rapidly changing world. The demilitarized zone, DMZ, serves as a stark reminder of the conflict that has separated families and communities for decades. The barbed wire and fences symbolize the physical and emotional barriers that have kept the North and South apart. Yet within this division lies the potential for reconciliation and unity, a hope that continues to burn brightly in the hearts of many Koreans. Yet there is also hope. The sunrise over the DMZ heralds a new day, a new beginning. The hopeful faces of the Korean people, the laughter of children playing in villages, all speak to a future that holds promise and possibility. It is a future where the wounds of the past can be healed, and where the dream of a united Korea can become a reality. The yearning for peace and reunification remains strong among many Koreans, both North and South. The sight of the South Korean and North Korean flags together, the emotional reunions of families long separated, and the peaceful protests calling for reunification all underscore the deep desire for a Korea that is whole and united. This yearning is not just a political aspiration, it is a deeply personal and emotional journey for many Koreans who long to see their homeland restored to its full glory. The shared history, language and cultural heritage of the Korean people offer a powerful foundation upon which to build a more peaceful and prosperous future. The traditional dances, the beautiful script of the Korean language and the historical monuments all serve as reminders of a common identity that transcends political boundaries. This cultural heritage is a source of pride and strength, a unifying force that can help bridge the divide and pave the way for a brighter future. The path forward will require patience, dialogue. It will demand leadership, both within Korea. The Korean dream, like the dreams of people, can be reunited, where the acts of cooperation, all pointing toward reunification and peace is not an easy one when people come together with a common purpose. That will require the collective effort of both Koreans and the international community, a journey that demands perseverance and a steadfast commitment to peace. It will demand leadership, both within Korea and from the international community, to navigate the complexities of reconciliation and build bridges of understanding. The involvement of international leaders and organizations such as the United Nations is crucial in supporting the peace process. These gatherings and negotiations are opportunities to foster dialogue, to address the underlying issues, and to work collaboratively toward a solution that benefits all parties involved. The Korean dream, like the dreams of people everywhere, is one of peace, prosperity, and unity. The serene countryside, the joyful laughter of children, and the harmony within families all reflect the essence of this dream. It is a vision of a Korea where people can live without fear, where opportunities abound, and where the bonds of community and family are cherished and nurtured. It is a dream of a Korea where families separated by the Korean War can be reunited, where the artificial division of the peninsula is replaced by cooperation and understanding, and where the Korean people, North and South, can work together to build a brighter future for themselves and for generations to come. The historical images of the Korean War serve as a poignant reminder of the pain and suffering that has been endured, but they also highlight the resilience and strength of the Korean people. The reunions at the border, the acts of cooperation, all point to a future where unity and collaboration can prevail. The realization of this dream will require courage, compassion, and an unwavering belief in the power of hope to overcome even the most entrenched divisions. The peace rallies, the candlelight vigils, and the inspirational leaders all embody the spirit of hope and determination. It is a collective effort that calls for empathy, understanding, and a commitment to the greater good. The journey toward reunification and peace is not an easy one, but it is a journey worth undertaking for the sake of future generations. As we look ahead, let us draw inspiration from the resilience and determination of the Korean people, and let us work together to support their aspirations for a peaceful and unified future. The images of people rebuilding together, the cultural celebrations, and the symbolic gestures of unity all serve as powerful reminders of what can be achieved when people come together with a common purpose. The Korean dream is a testament to the enduring spirit of a nation that has faced countless challenges but continues to strive for a better tomorrow. Let us stand with the Korean people in their pursuit of peace, prosperity and unity, and let us be inspired by their unwavering hope and determination.